flat. Thank you for that flattering introduction, Anuradha. I do hope I live up to those expectations.
Surely, ma'am, you will. you being very modest.
Well, humility is, I think, one of the core values that we need to cherish and and practice. Without wasting any more time, I'll start with the screen share. Well, this is what it is. Normally, in an offline mode, if I were to have a workshop with you, I would probably have some icebreakers so that we get to know one another, and we also shed our inhibitions and we'll be able to get into the mood of learning. On an online mode, sometimes it is not so easy, but I do have something here which should create a sense of curiosity, which should create a sense of expectations from what we have, as to what we can glean from today's workshop. And let's go ahead. Let's see what I have here for you. Okay, the height of the truck is 1 inch more than that of the tunnel. Help the truck driver to pass through the tunnel. You can write in the chat mode. Tiasha, maybe you can help me in reading it out.
Sure, ma'am.
Type in the chat mode how you can help the driver. Oh, you have to help him to move through the tunnel. You can't remove the tires.
Okay.
Leave the truck and move on. But the truck has to move on.
Choose another mode.
Let some air out of the tires. All right. What is the scientific principle on which you made this conclusion? Choose another mode. Release the pressure in the tires. Release the pressure in the tires. That is also correct. Now, on which is the science concept on which you based your conclusion? Before I started the session, you said, oh, it has to be interactive. And if you're not going to speak, you can unmute yourself and speak. Otherwise, it's not going to be interactive. Come on. Volume, space, air occupies space. Basic fundamental concept. Very good. So once you deflate, now if you deflate the tires totally, the truck, can it move?
No, ma'am.
Help the trucker. You have to help the trucker to move through the tunnel. So you have to reduce the pressure so that the truck goes down by 1 inch and not deflate the tires. All right, let's see the next one. Can you see this? Which way is the bus going? To the right or to the left? After you've answered it, I will tell you what the kindergarten children said. You will love it. Observe it and tell me, which way is the bus headed? To the right or to the left?
I think it's right.
Why? Tukka lagana? No. It should be based on some scientific concept, some observation.
It's not going anywhere, ma'am, because the tire is not attached to the bus.
I'm telling you, it is moving. I can't show you a 3D movie, 3D picture here. So I've shown it to you on a black and on a paper. It is moving. So which direction is it going? Right or left?
Ma'am, it's going towards the right because the door is on the other side.
Absolutely bang on. When the children were asked this question, the kindergarten children said, it is going to the right because we cannot see the door. When the vehicles are keeping to the left side of the road and the driver is on the right side, the door is on the left side. So if the bus were to move to the left, then the door would be visible. The door is not visible, so the bus is moving to the right. Bang on. Now let's go to the next. This is a video. You just listen to it and enjoy it.
With one line, I want you to make this addition equation correct.
Okay, I'm only allowed to draw one line.
Only one line, yes.
Okay, so, okay, okay. If I add a 1, that's one line. 15, that still only makes it 25 though. Okay. If I add 1 there, 51,
So 51, okay.
is still not enough. Okay. Oh, if I wanted to make this 550, I'd have, but I can only do one line. Oh,
What?
I know. One line, boom. 15 does not equal 550.
No. While that may be true, it is not a correct addition equation. The goal is to make this whole equation correct.
Okay. Boy.
But
What?
So what is it that the child had which the mother didn't have? Come on.
Art of looking at things from another perspective.
Yes. Yes. Anything more? I want a better word for it. What would you call it?
Out of the box thinking.
Yes, out of the box thinking, lateral thinking, which somewhere as we grow up we seem to lose.
Logical thinking.
Logic, yes, all that comes together. Out of the box thinking, without logic it doesn't work. All right, let's now come to the
with
next.
one.
We've had 3 examples. Now I want you to tell me, why do we ask questions?
To judge how much the child has followed, if I'm asking the students.
Okay, as a kind of a assessment.
Check
Yeah.
the prior
How
knowledge.
much they have.
Check the prior knowledge of the child.
All right, fine.
To trigger the thinking process of a child.
Excellent.
ignite curiosity.
All right.
Whether we have done the right, we have taught them correctly or not. Whether they have understood our concept.
All right. This
To
is what the part of
understand how effective our teaching was.
that
How
is-
To know
effective
whether they know the answer or not, they have understood or not.
Okay. So mostly what you're saying is assessment, to find out how much they know, how much they've understood, whether we have taught them right. Yes? All right. Now let's
to bring,
sorry?
ma'am, to bring them to that study mode.
Yes. Sometimes to
Ma'am,
bring curiosity.
to know whether we have achieved learning outcomes or not.
Yes. Yes. Okay, let's have a look what Edward de Bono has to say. What does he say? Who can read it out loud?
Asking a question is the simplest way of focusing on thinking. Asking the right question may be the most important part of thinking, by Edward de Bono.
Correct. Asking questions by itself is focusing, but asking the right kind of question may be the critical part. Now look at this slide. Apollo 13 is named a successful failure. It is an oxymoron. A failure cannot be considered successful, isn't it? Then why is Apollo 13 referred to as a successful failure? You know what is Apollo 13? What it was? Okay. In 1970, Apollo 13 was launched by the United States. They were supposed to land on the moon. But somewhere something went drastically wrong. The oxygen cylinders exploded. And there was no way, the carbon dioxide was leaking in. There was no way they could land on the moon. And they called Houston and said, Houston, we have a problem. Everybody started panicking. There were some who started crying. But there was one man, since you don't know, I will tell you the whole thing as a story. There was one man who was the NASA project director. He asked one most pertinent question. He listened to what the astronauts had to say and then asked one pertinent question. He asked them, what is it that you have on the ship that is in working condition? Because the whole purpose at that time was to get these people back alive. And that one question made these people tell him exactly what they had. And they were moved from the main ship onto that little thing which they used to land. What is it called? The exit module. They were made to get into that because they only had 15 minutes of oxygen left to survive in that ship. So they moved on to that exit module, and there they made certain contraptions using what was available and helped them to bring them back to Earth safely. That is why the oxymoron, a successful failure. So a question that was most critical was asked, and that helped in bringing these 3 astronauts back. Has anybody seen the movie Apollo 13 where Tom Hanks is an actor? No?
I've seen it.
Okay. The opening statement itself is, Houston, we have a problem. Let's move on to the next. Now, questions and the key outcomes. See how critical the questions are. Watson and Crick, he kept asking himself, what might DNA look like in 3D form? And that led to, what did it lead to? Any idea? It's all here. Discovery of a double helix. The DNA with the double helix. Any biology teacher should know. The most interesting is the Johnson & Johnson incident. Case studies have been studied based on this particular problem. Tylenol is, just as we take Dolo for fever and things like that, Tylenol in the US is a very common across-the-counter drug. It is taken by one and all. But apparently, this Tylenol was tampered with cyanide by some people. And those who took Tylenol died. As the numbers started rising, there was a big question which was posed in front of Johnson & Johnson. And the CEO had to take a decision. There were 2 questions, major questions in front of him, which popped up. Is it necessary to save public life? Or is it necessary to save millions of dollars of loss for the company? And the CEO took a decision to call back Tylenol causing millions of dollars worth of loss to the company. But in all, it helped to increase the consumer confidence, and the people accepted whatever had happened, and it took them about 3 years to recover their losses. That's all. And it still continues to be one of the leading companies. So the ethical action that was taken by them helped them to recover their losses. Now, Ray Kroc, McDonald's, you're driving down the highway. The minute you see that big M, you stop because you know you're going to get a burger which is hygienic. And with that, you will not get a stomach upset. And it is reasonably priced. And if he had not asked this question to himself, where can I get a good hamburger on the road, that would not have led to the birth of McDonald's. So what does it tell us? What does it tell us?
The right question leads to right answers.
Okay. Anything else? Sangeeta,
The right,
you are muted. Unmute yourself.
the right question helps us to lead to a particular goal. And it leads to invention of something, in fact, invention or discovery of something.
Okay.
When right question is asked.
Okay.
So, ma'am, right thinking leads to right questions, and then again, it leads to some discoveries or inventions or right path.
Now, how do you know it is right thinking? Now, people have failed. There is this particular statement which all of us teachers keep saying, I have not failed 100 times, but I found 100 ways by which it does not work. So it will not be the right path.
Ma'am, when the outcome is positive, you know, then the path we selected must be the right one.
All right. Okay. Let's see now. Next. How many questions do you ask in the class that elicit good answers? Any idea? Don't tell me I don't count, which is acceptable to me. Approximately. From the time I've started, I've asked you, I don't know how many questions. 50? 60?
Around 15 to 20, starting from questions like, how are you doing? Did you understand what I just taught?
15 to 20 in each class? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, approximately, ma'am, 10 good questions. Other than this, how are you and all that, 10 good questions we ask where students take interest in answering, ma'am.
All right. Now you see this. There is some additional information. Did you know that? Just read by yourself. Surprised? Are you surprised? Did you watch it? Did you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you surprised with the information?
Yes,
so
ma'am,
now,
even the number of questions that we ask per day, 350 is quite a number.
350 is quite a number, but only 20% of those questions require any thinking. So that is something we need to change. From 20, now what is your objective? 50, 60, or just 20 to 30? I don't want an answer, I leave it to you. Let's see, at the end of this session, maybe you will be in a better position to tell me where you can peg yourself. Now this, are you thinking if you're not asking questions? Yes or no? Are you thinking?
Yes.
I don't think it's a focused thinking. Sometimes we might think only when a question is asked, do we focus on something and think about it?
Okay, so what you're telling me is something is happening in the background, even if you're not conscious of it.
Sometimes with the kids that I've seen.
All right. Okay. All right. What about the others?
Thinking is happening.
Thinking
As
is
we are
happening.
teaching, yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, thinking is happening.
All right. Let's look at the next slide. Who is this person here sleeping? Any idea? Science teachers? Science teachers.
Newton.
Newton is not sleeping. And I can see
No,
his
no,
name
sleeping.
there.
Aja, who is sleeping?
Have you heard of a gentleman called Kekule?
No.
Have you heard of a substance called benzene?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you heard of the isomers of benzene?
Yeah.
Now, do you know the story behind how Kekule came up with the benzene rings and the isomers? It is serendipity. All this is serendipity. What is serendipity?
By chance.
Something that has
Just
happened.
discovery.
They happen.
Something that has happened that turns out to be really good.
Yeah.
It's a
Good
kind
for
of
you,
insight.
beneficial. Yeah.
Yes, it is a kind of an insight.
It's more like epiphany, ma'am.
Yes and no. Let me tell you the story of Kekule. Kekule was thinking about this benzene. He went to bed, and in the sleep, I believe he saw two snakes. And that gave him the idea of the isomers of benzene. How the two snakes could lead to that benzene ring beats me. I have no explanation for that, but he got it. And the second one?
Archimedes.
Archimedes.
And the third one?
Newton.
Newton. And the apple, which it fell on his head. So, was thinking happening without questions?
No.
Was thinking happening
Yes.
without questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Thinking was happening with questions and without questions also.
Yes.
Because there was a thought, Archimedes was given a task of finding out whether the crown was made of pure gold. So with that thought, he sat in the tub and he realized he discovered the law of
Flotation.
what? Flotation. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Can I have the spotlight, please? Yasha?
Just give me a minute, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, I have given you a pre-reading matter. You've read about that. If not, you can keep it in front of you. Now, I want 10 volunteers. Now, these 10 volunteers are going to ask me questions. Now, the questions would be based on what I can do after retirement. I'm almost there. So now you can ask me questions on what I can do after retirement. The question should not be repeated. Okay? And you're not going to give me a statement. You're not going to say you should do this. Should is to be avoided. Did you get all the requirements in perspective? Should is to be avoided. You need to ask questions, and the questions are not to be repeated, and that should be based on what I can do after retirement. Now, one person has to write down. So I need one other volunteer, 10 volunteers to ask questions, and one volunteer to write down the questions that are asked. Are we ready? Are we ready? Shall we start? Okay.
Yes.
Come on. Can you see the volunteers? I can't see here. Yesha, can you see the volunteers?
No, ma'am.
So who are the volunteers? Can I have the volunteers, please? Show of hand.
So Ms. Jyotika would like to be the volunteer.
Yes, I need 11 people. One person to write down the questions. Yes? Oops.
Ma'am, I can write down the questions.
All right. Hurry up, otherwise I'll have to choose the volunteers. That would be difficult.
Ma'am, I'll be the volunteer.
All right, 2 people down, 2 gone. What's happening? Two. I'll have to keep you till 8 o'clock then. Come on. Let's go. Where is our PT teacher? Come on.
Yeah, I'll be one.
All right. 3. Can you see the holes?
I cannot see. I can only see you, ma'am. I can't see anybody else.
Yeah, no. I think we'll have to see the gallery view.
No, gallery view is there.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3 people we got. Who else?
I will volunteer, Deepa.
All right. Third, Shailesh PT sir, you have been chosen. No?
Ma'am, I haven't gone through the content, so I don't think I'll be the right person.
Why didn't you go through the content? Your students come to class without going through the content, without doing the warm-up. How would you like it? PT sir?
It's my mistake. I apologize.
There is no such thing. You are taken. If you have not read it, there is a learning from making mistakes. All right.
Okay.
Next. I'll be choosing people at random now. Prita Das. Next. Prita Das.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Varun Goyal.
Yes, ma'am.
How many did we get?
Ma'am, actually, I have not checked the content actually.
It doesn't matter. I'm glad you have not checked the content. Rekha Yadav. How many did we get? Tiesha, can you see?
I'm just making a note, ma'am. Just give me a second. So we have Miss Subhada, Saranga, Rekha you mentioned. Just give me a second. Miss Jyotika had volunteered.
Yes.
Who else had volunteered?
It took 2 men.
I had volunteered Deepa Agarwal.
Deepa Agarwal.
Jennifer, ma'am.
Okay, Jennifer.
Okay.
Ma'am, Pritha.
Sorry?
Pritha.
Pritha. So we have 7.
Okay. Nicola Pereira. That's 8.
Okay.
I can also volunteer. Manjari Garg.
Okay.
Anjali.
Garg.
9. We have 2 more to go.
2 more to go. Dharani. Dharani.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next.
Last one.
Last one. Smita Nair.
Okay, ma'am. We've
All
got
right.
11.
All right. Who is going to be the one who will write down the questions?
Ma'am, I'll write.
Who is that?
I'm Sudeshna Sarkar, ma'am.
All right. Fine. Now, who is going to start by asking the questions?
Ma'am, may I begin? I am Shubhada Sati.
Okay. Yes, please.
Ma'am, I'd like to ask you, apart from what can be considered your job, What do you enjoy doing the most?
What do you enjoy doing? Okay. What was it that you were supposed to ask me?
What you will be doing after your retirement? Like that
Now,
was.
what was it that you asked me now?
On that.
What was it that you asked me now?
I asked you, ma'am, apart from what can be considered your job at present, what else do you enjoy doing the most?
No, you asked me what I enjoy doing.
A hobby or a...
Yeah, that the question I think she wants to ask you, like, what hobby would you like to pursue after your retirement?
Okay. All right. Next question, please.
I would like to ask, this is Dharini. I'm from Pune. Where would you like to travel in your retirement, after your retirement?
Okay. Next
Deepa,
question.
next question I will ask.
Yeah.
What kind of place would you like to stay at?
Okay.
Whether it can be a, okay, no suggestions.
Next.
Ma'am, Smita here.
Yes.
Yeah. What would you like to do to keep yourself happy now? After your retirement, what makes you happy? What would make you happy if you have to pursue now? What would you like to pursue after your retirement?
Okay.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, please.
May I?
Yes.
Teacher, what is your passion to do after retirement?
Okay.
Ma'am, can I ask? Now, ma'am, if you had a big library at your house, which are the 5 books which you would really like to read after your retirement when you have lots of time on your hands?
Ma'am, may I? This is Rekha here. I want to ask you, like, how you are going to spend your first day after retirement? The entire day. What will be your, routine for the first day of your? What you will plan for your first day after the of your retirement?
Okay.
Ma'am, I would like to ask that, is there anything that you could not cater to when, in your professional life during that time, which you want to cater to, any personal reason which you want to cater to after retirement?
Okay.
Ma'am, this is Manjari. I want to ask you a question that which trees would you like to grow on your in your garden after your retirement?
Okay.
Ma'am, may I?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. First question is, ma'am, do you want to get retired? And if yes, what are your retirement plans?
All right. Has everybody finished asking questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, one more. How you are going to secure yourself financially after your retirement?
Okay. All right.
Ma'am, one more question.
Yes.
What is the most desiring wish you want to fulfill?
Desiring wish.
Ma'am, my question.
What is the most desiring wish you want to fulfill?
Okay.
How will you keep yourself engaged after the retirement?
Okay. All right. Has everybody finished? We'll take a
Ma'am, may I speak?
Yes,
I
please.
am Jessica Simois from Pune.
Yeah.
I would be curious about why you would want to retire. You seem to have so much left in you still. So why the retirement? Retirement not only from one job, but would you be doing something else?
Okay. We'll stop here because we'll have to look at the questions and try and understand. Shall we have the first question, please?
Sure, ma'am. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first question, ma'am, I'm not saying the name because I didn't get all the
It
names.
doesn't matter. I don't want
the first was apart from the current work that you're doing, what do you enjoy doing? I mean, after retirement, what do you enjoy doing?
Okay. So now the question I wanted you to ask me was what I would do after retirement. Correct? So is this a relevant question or not a relevant question? Tell me.
It can be asked like, are there any future plans after retirement?
So what you're saying is it will have to be rephrased?
Yeah.
Okay, try. Try. Anybody can try. Can we go back to the gallery view, Tiesha?
What is one hobby for which you could now take out time now, and which you would like?
1 minute. Let's go to the speaker view part, so I get to see who is the one who is giving the answer. Okay. Yeah. We have not finished with the first question, isn't it? Let's not go to the second. Somebody has to conjugate it differently and tell me, because you said it can be rephrased. Yes.
What is it that you enjoy doing the most, which you are currently not able to do because of your hectic schedule, that you would like to do after your retirement?
Oh my God, the question is 1 kilometer long. Can you make it a little shorter? So because by the time the student listens to the last part, the first part he would have forgotten. Then he will say, Miss, can you repeat the question?
Ma'am, what would you enjoy doing after retirement that you are unable to do now because you're so busy?
All right, I'll accept that. Shall we go to the second one?
Yeah, ma'am. The second was, where would you like to travel?
Come again?
Where would you like to travel?
Where or when?
Where? W-H-E-R.
Where? Okay. Where would you like to travel? It's a very, okay. We'll accept that. We'll accept that. We'll go to the next one.
What kind of place you would like to stay in? The kind of place you would like to stay.
Exactly is the answer that you're expecting here. What kind of place would you like to stay, in the sense after retirement where I'm going to stay?
Yes, this is what the thought was, ma'am, because
But
I think
is it very specific?
Because sometimes you can be staying in a very big house, and after retirement you might be wanting to relocate to another place.
Well, that's fine, because you are getting older. If the servant doesn't come, who is going to sweep and swap the house?
Correct.
Yeah, I can understand that. But does it require any rephrasing? What kind of place would you like to stay?
Okay. Would you like to relocate after retirement? Is that better?
Okay. Now, I'm asking you, is it a specific question, or is it too general, or is it too vague?
So I feel that if I say, would you relocate after retirement, maybe better?
Okay, I'm accepting it, because we still have a long way to go, and you will be in a position to understand yourself. Can we have the next question?
Yeah, the next one was, what you would like to do to keep yourself happy? I mean, something that makes you happy.
Now, the question was what I would do. Would you like to do, is that related to what you're supposed to ask me, or does it have to be conjugated differently? Yes? Read the question again, please.
Yeah, what makes you happy? She said it twice in two different ways. One, she said what makes you happy. The other one was what you would like to do to keep yourself happy. So I've noted down both, ma'am.
Would you like to work on something that keeps you happy after retirement? Wouldn't that be a better question?
Yes.
Let's go to the next.
Yeah. What are you passionate about doing, or a desiring wish you want to fulfill? These are the two questions that came from the same sir. First was, what are you passionate about doing? And the second was a desiring wish that you would like to fulfill.
Okay.
May I move on to the next one?
Yes, move on to the next one.
Yeah, the next one was, you have a huge library at home, and which are the 5 books that you would like to keep there, and I mean you would like to read after retirement?
Okay.
May I proceed, ma'am?
Yeah.
How would you spend your first day after retirement?
How would I spend the first day after? What I would like to do and how I would spend. Okay. You're just asking me to give you a chronology of what I do from morning. Make a cup of tea, sit down, look at the birds, enjoy myself, don't have to worry about going to school. Huh? Maybe. Maybe. Is there anything more? Any more questions?
Yeah, ma'am, there are quite a few. I mean, five more to go, ma'am.
Yeah.
Next one is anything you couldn't cater to earlier but would like to do now.
Okay.
Next is the trees you'd like to grow.
All right.
Ma'am, your retirement plans. How would you secure yourself financially? How would you keep yourself engaged after retirement?
Yes.
And the last one, ma'am, why do you want to retire? I mean,
is
there any need for a retirement? Having you have enough on your platter, ma'am. So
I can answer the last one first. Why would I want to retire? Everybody has to retire, right? That's the rule of the country, rule of the land. So you move on and you make place for the younger ones to take on. Okay, let's go back to answering this. Can we have the speaker view? Yeah. Now, there are some things here that came to light. Simple exercise as asking questions. Now, what happened was, it threw up a whole lot of possibilities as far as I'm concerned. Starting from reading a book to what my passion is, what I desire to do, and to do things that I didn't get the time to do. So there is so much of possibilities that was thrown open in front of me by the questions. And also, what is it that I need to do now? If I have to pursue my desire, which I know what it is, which I don't want to share it with you, what is it that I need to do? If I'm passionate about XYZ things, and if I want to pursue it, what is it that I need to do? Do I need to learn something? Do I need to do some courses? Do I need to go abroad? Do I need to stay at home? So these are some of the practical issues that are posed before me. And finally, infinite perspicacity. This is the perspicacity refers to understanding. You had some thinking to do. You had to think what you have to ask because you could not possibly repeat what was asked. Was it easy for you to ask questions? The volunteers? Was it easy for you to ask or you had to do some thinking?
It was not easy.
Some thinking was required, but not too tough.
Thinking was required.
It was not too tough, but there
was... It was not too tough, yeah.
Nobody asked a question which was of a higher order. They were mostly lower order questions. Except for that financial part, maybe where I had to do some struggling and some math. So, questions help us quickly to get the essence. So if you had not asked me these questions, all these possibilities would not have come up before me. And somebody even asked me, why do you want to retire? For that, I have no answer, but I just thought it would be fun for you to think that if I'm going to retire, what I'm going to do. All right. Now, we have been using these 6 honest serving men, as Rudyard Kipling said. They are the 5 W's and 1 H. When, where, what, who, why, and how. These are the words, action words, when tagged to this, give us the meaning or the essence of what we want to get. Now, when you ask a question, you're having an online session and one child comes late to the class. Why are you late? We ask, don't we? We all ask, why are you late? Supposing instead of why are you late, if we were to ask, what made you come late? Which would be better?
Second one.
The second one.
Second one. So how many of us use the second one? The first question we ask is, why are you late? So let's make a conscious effort to ask, what made you come late? Doable? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's go. Why do students ask only a few questions? Now you give me the answer. I've got this blank slide full of statements, but first you give me the answers. Why is it? It's been found by research that a small child asks something like 50 questions in an hour. This is not something that Dr. Pramila Kudwa is saying. This has been researched and found. And when the child comes to school in 1 hour, how many questions do you think that child asks? Can you take a guess? From 50 questions, 2 questions. From 50, it has come down to 2. So why is it that children ask only a few questions in class? What stops them from asking questions?
Ma'am,
In this group itself, you can see now.
fear of being judged, that they're right or wrong.
Yes.
Fear of being ridiculed by either the teacher or the peers if they feel that the question is quite irrelevant.
It's more or less similar answer. Anything else?
Many are shy.
Confidence.
Okay. What else?
Lack of confidence.
What else?
They might not be given the opportunity to ask. It's like we're just presenting it to them without giving them a chance to ask questions.
All right. Anything more?
They do not listen the lecture properly.
Not paying attention, you mean?
They have not understood the topic.
Okay.
They don't know the art of asking questions.
They don't need to have an art of asking questions. They ask if they want to. When they want to tingle you, when they want to create trouble for the teacher, how many questions they ask?
Learning objectives are not fulfilled.
Sorry?
Learning objectives are not fulfilled, ma'am.
Okay.
If they are not interested in particular topic, then also.
Okay. Let's
Ma'am,
see.
at times children shy away thinking that my question may not be apt. Others have better questions to ask.
Shy away, that's already been answered earlier.
Okay, yeah.
So let's have a look at what these things are. You have answered this: lack of opportunity, you have mentioned it. Lack of interest, you have mentioned it. Fear of failure. There's nothing that I'm saying which you don't know. Not enough time to think. This was not answered by you. The teacher has not given them enough time to think. We have another slide coming up later. We will discuss it at that time. Don't know how to ask questions. You have said this. Teacher only asks some pupils. Now it's happening here. The same people are answering and the others are keeping quiet. Teacher asks too many questions at once. Teacher is looking for one answer. Teacher answers the questions herself. This could be some of the reasons why children ask a few questions. Now, there is time for you to go into the breakout rooms. You will be there in the breakout rooms for 12 minutes. Each group should have a moderator, a note taker. Please make a note or take a screenshot if you want. A moderator, note taker, and a timekeeper, and a spokesperson to report to the whole group when you come back. A moderator, because otherwise everybody will not talk. Everybody has to contribute. And somebody has to write down, otherwise you won't remember. And somebody has to see to it that everybody speaks. And if there are 10 people in 12 minutes, everybody should be able to speak. and one person who is going to be making a report when you come back. This is clear to everybody? Because now is what you need to do in the group. You're going to interview people. And take a screenshot of this, please. Who is this number one person?
Ravi Shankar.
Yes, Sri Ravi Shankar. Number 2?
Mr. Ratan Tata.
Ratan Tata. Number 3?
Amitabh
Bachchan.
Number 4?
Smriti
Irani.
Number 5?
Baba Ramdev.
Okay, so you know, as per the group that you're allotted to, you need to interview these people virtually. They're not there, but you have to plan your interview questions. And then you come back and you present them. Is that clear?
Okay.
Okay. Now, Tiesha, can we send?
Shall I open the breakout rooms?
Yes, please. Open the breakout rooms.
Miss Nisha, aren't you able to see which breakout room are you in? I'm just going to put her in. Ma'am, would you like to go to the breakout rooms? Ma'am, you're on mute.
I'm going to room 1.
Yeah, I've made 8 groups, and on average, there are 6 people in each group.
All right.
Yeah. I'll be here to just monitor the rest.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Tiesha, who is this unassigned participant?
Yeah, ma'am. Pramila, ma'am, you were saying something?
Yeah, there is one unassigned participant.
Yeah, actually, he had got logged out. So he just came in right now.
Okay. So there is more than 5, I think they have taken up at random. It doesn't matter. They've taken up at random. It doesn't matter. Is it time up? 43 seconds. Okay. Some of them are coming back. Is everybody back?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll start with the first group.
I think there are only 48 participants, so there were more when before we went.
Had 60. Some are having internet issues, so they are just exiting and joining back. That kind of a thing is happening.
I expect they didn't find it interesting enough.
That's not true, ma'am.
Let's start with the first one. Let's not speculate and gesticulate. Start with the first group. Number 1.
Does it go?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Ramesh, sorry. Ma'am, just before we start, could you explain the role of each person that you had allotted? Because there was some...
No, the reason was I wanted somebody to write down the note. I wanted somebody to moderate so everybody gets a chance to speak. And I wanted one person to make the presentation because otherwise somebody who can speak will have to be chosen to be the one making a presentation. And one timekeeper, that's it.
That's it. Okay, great, ma'am. Then we got it right. Thank you.
I did go to each group. I think as teachers, we know how to do this.
Yes.
Yeah. So start. Let me understand the questions.
Does it have to be in any order? Because we were in room 6. So we are all back. So Pritha, if you can,
it doesn't matter.
Who was the reporter?
Aarti.
Aarti is the reporter from room 6.
Yeah.
Shall I start?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the questions are, what made you choose this field?
Wait, each question, because we'll have to spend some time. What made you choose this field? Is this a higher order question or a lower order question?
Lower order question.
Lower order question. Why do you say it is a lower order question?
Because this is what instantly, this is a very common question which anybody would ask.
All right.
Meeting somebody.
Next.
Pandemic. In this pandemic, how are you coping up mentally?
All right. What about this? How are you coping up mentally?
Higher order question, ma'am.
Slightly higher order. Because one has to look into oneself and then give the answer. So you can't Google it, copy paste. Not possible. Next question.
How would you contribute to the people of your field? Because in this pandemic, many people are, because they have left their job, they don't have job, they don't have money and all that. So how will you contribute to the people of your field?
Who is the person you're interviewing?
All of these 5 people.
You interviewed all 5. Okay.
This is a common question to all of them. So we have put a general question to each of those.
Okay. So is this a higher order, lower order?
It's a lower order, ma'am. Not much of thing.
The question, please. I think some of them lost it. Repeat the question.
How would you contribute to the people of your field? In this pandemic situation, how will you contribute to the people of your field?
Okay. People of your field or?
No, in your field.
In your field.
How would you contribute? So one has to think. It's a slightly higher order.
It's a higher order, yeah. It's a slightly higher order.
Not a lower order question. Next question.
What change would you bring in the government system related to your field?
Okay, this is for Smriti Irani.
Hi.
Smriti Irani yes, as well as mostly for Smriti Irani.
What changes would you bring? So there is once again a higher order question. Although the question has got what, it is still a higher order question. Next.
What is that one advice you would like to give to the person starting a career in your field?
Okay, this is a routine question that is asked by every interviewer.
Yes.
This is the last question. I'll accept it. What is that one advice? It's okay. It's nothing very much different. Okay. This is your last question?
We have one or two more.
Yeah, go ahead. Quickly.
Okay. Who is the one person whom you would like to give credit for your success?
Okay.
That's a lower order.
This is
lower order.
Not a very higher order question. Since we are running a little late, there's a lot more I need to do. So I won't be able to take questions from every group. We'll just do maybe 2 groups and then see. Time permitting, we will come back. Okay. Now one more group, please.
Group 5.
Which group now?
Group 5.
All right, group 5.
Yes, ma'am. We had planned to interview Baba Ramdev.
Okay.
So the first question is, what inspired you to get into yoga practice?
Okay.
Then where did you get your yoga training from?
Very, very lower order question. Where did you get it? I got it on some place.
XYZ, yeah.
Okay. Then, now don't be under the impression lower order questions are not to be asked. They're as important as the higher order, because there may be a few children who will be the laggards, who will be definitely getting the answer for that. And that feel good factor has to come in. So you need to have some lower order questions in your question papers. Next.
What encouraged you to get into the business of Ayurvedic products?
Okay, this is also, yeah, fine.
And the next is, who are the key people in your company?
Okay.
Then, are your products cost effective?
Okay, yes or no?
If yes, then how it is yes, and if it is no, then how it is no.
If it costs less than what the other products would cost, then it is cost effective. If it costs more, then it is not cost effective. So there is nothing, no rocket science there.
Okay. Why do you criticize allopaths?
This is a good question. This is a good question.
And the last two questions remaining. Would you like to join politics? So yes.
He's already in politics. He's already joined politics.
No, yes, no. So nothing very great about that.
And would you like to share your future planning, and or we can?
Now, would you like to share your future planning? He can say no, I don't want to.
Or what are your? Just ask him straight. What are your future plannings?
Yes. What are your future planning? Would you like to share? No, I don't want to. Then you're closed. You can't ask such questions in an interview.
And one more last was there. In today's times, coronal is not being approved by ICMR. Would you like to comment on this? So again, yes or no?
Would you like to comment? Can you comment?
We need a comment on this.
Please comment on this.
Please comment on this.
Your comment on this. Your opinion on this. Direct. All right. Let me go back to my share screen. Oops. I have to close this, I suppose. Do I close this to go back to my screen? Oh, there you are.
No.
Yeah, that's it. Now group presentations are over. Now, what are the characteristics of good questions? It is an invitation to think. It comes from genuine curiosity and confusion. It makes you think about something in a way you have never considered before. Has that happened to you today? Have you thought about it in a way that you have never considered it before?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give me an example of when it happened to you today? Quickly.
Yeah. So, ma'am, the question you asked for the first time about the tire one, like how will the truck will go? So that made us think, not from the usual thinking pattern. Yes.
All right. It invites deep thinking and deep feelings. Deep thinking, because when you had to interview, there was so much of discussion that happened. I was going from room to room. So there was so much of thinking that happened, and feelings also were involved, because there was one time where somebody said right now she's with textiles, Smriti Irani, but there was a time when she was with the women empowerment. So we can ask some questions on that. There was a lot of discussion that happened which involved feelings also. And good questions sometimes lead to more good questions. It makes you think critically, creatively, ethically. Ethically, the example is by Johnson & Johnson, which I gave you. Productivity, and reflectively about the essential ideas in a discipline. Now let's do some analysis of the questions. Questions must have a purpose. It should encourage students to think for themselves, higher order and lower order. Increase the higher order to at least 50%. 50% can be lower order, 50% you can increase it to higher order. It should deepen the understanding. And as I told you, the children who are not very smart, they will also need to get some marks. So lower order questions are also necessary in a question paper. in a class also. Now, this is a question where the teacher has goofed up badly. Teacher wanted them to circle the lowest number and she bulleted it by writing 1, 2, 3. The child promptly circled 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, we are unable to see your screen.
Yeah.
Even the screen is not visible.
Even the last slide.
No, ma'am, we are unable to see from the beginning that you see.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
We can see.
Yeah, no.
Yes, ma'am. We can see.
Now it's visible.
Yes,
Could you
Yes,
please
now.
show the previous slide also? We couldn't see the previous slide also. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So now the teacher gave the bullet as 1, 2, 3, and she asked the children to circle the lowest number. The child promptly circled 1, 2, and 3. What is the mistake that the teacher has done here? Should she have used...
The question is not clear.
Question is not clear. What is the mistake that the teacher has done? Should
She should have mentioned in which number.
She should have added an
The question was not specific.
She should have put alphabet.
Put alphabetical bullets.
No.
ABCD.
Or from the sets of 3 numbers.
She did the numbers.
If she were to write this as A, B, C,
Yeah.
then I would not have circled 1, 2, and 3. So the question itself is wrong. Now you say why it is
Framing of the question is wrong.
Now, the elements of a question. Question should have an action part, and it should have a concept part and a learning outcome. Supposing the learning outcome is student explains the law of the first law of first Newton's law. What will be the action part in this statement that I gave you? First law of motion, law of flotation. The student gives examples for a complex sentence. What is the action part?
Actually doing it.
Explains, gives examples. These are all action parts. What is the concept? Law of thermodynamics, law of Newton's law, law of flotation, complex sentence. These are all concepts. So when you combine the action and the concepts, you get a learning
outcome.
That's clear? Now, how much waiting time should you give? The waiting time should not be that the teacher is reducing a skeleton. How much waiting time should you give?
30 to 1 minute, 30 seconds to 1 minute at least.
Ma'am, 1 minute, not less than 1 minute.
Depends on the question, ma'am.
1 minute is a lot of time. 1 minute is too much.
Yes.
20 seconds.
Depends on the section.
Depends on the question. It depends on the level of the child. Depends on the level of the child.
Yes, ma'am. Some may answer in 20 seconds, some may take 1 minute.
Yes. So 1 minute is too long. 30 seconds may be a better bet. Now we come to the kind of questions. We can have closed questions and open questions. This is a little bit of theory which you need to know. Closed question would be yes, no questions. So for instance, would you like coffee? Would you like tea? Would you like water? What's your name? The answer is given, it's closed. Open-ended would be, why did you choose this car? What made you get angry today? What qualities did Noor Jahan possess? These are all open-ended questions, because for which there will be no one answer. Each student can give different answers. Probing questions. Now, probing questions can be those which will ask further information. Teacher wants more information. How did you do that? Why did you do this? These are all asking for further information. Refocusing. Now, The teacher can say, if this is true, what will be the implication? So you're coming back and discussing what the implications would be. Okay, let's analyze the answers. What we are doing now is analyzing the answer. We are refocusing on what we have done. Clarifying. I've used this clarifying so many times today. What exactly do you mean? Can you conjugate this differently? Can you change make the questions shorter? Brevity is important. So these are all clarifying questions. What did you mean by the term? I asked this question also. Somebody said passionate about things, curious about things. So what do you mean by the term? Increasing critical awareness. What are your reasons for thinking? How can you justify your answers? For online question, for online answering of questions, these are some of the things which you ask will not be permitting the children to go to Google, copy and paste. These will make them think and answer on their own. We are all facing problem of Google copy paste, isn't it? So keep this in mind. Prompting. Now the teacher asks, what is the difference between growth and development? John says, I don't know. So teacher explains to him and says, then now can you answer? So the teacher has given him crutches to hold on to. So the child gets the chance to answer again. A shy child, a diffident child, a child who is not very good in academics. For them, the teacher can use this technique to help them to open up. Redirection. What is the theme of Bangle Seller by Sarojini Naidu? So Sam says it's the bangles which are brought on special occasion and associated with happiness and prosperity. So teacher, Mary, do you agree? What do you have to say? Is he right? Correct him? Can you elaborate? These are all redirection. Are you able to get to the bottom of this? Can I have a thumbs up? All right, teachers. Now there are some rhetoric and vague questions. Isn't it nice working with a team like this? Teacher is not expecting an answer. That is a rhetoric. Any questions? Is everybody with me? Does this make sense? These are all vague questions. Now I can ask you, are you with me? Most of you are not with me because the screen has gone blank. So you're probably having a cup of tea, making tea, taking a bio break. Okay, big question could be a question that might change the future. Might have changed the future had it happened. What would have happened if Subhash Chandra Bose was present at the time of independence? Decreasing detail. Decreasing detail would be something like inductive reasoning. You've done inductive way of teaching. You know what is inductive way of teaching? Go from general to specific. Ask more questions. Process the questions. Ask more questions. What does this work do? What is the theory behind this? And then come down to the specific. Now, if you're teaching grammar, for instance, you give them examples. And based on the examples, you elicit the response so that they come to the specific concept that you want them to get at. I don't want to get into it because then I won't be able to finish the questions. I'll be teaching you the inductive concept. So inductive is where you have to decrease. When you increase it, it becomes deductive. There you're going from general to specific. Since you don't know, I'll just leave it. Can we have that, Tiesha?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah, can you answer this, please? Really, or do we go? Are they answering?
I was just going to check participants. Are you able to see the poll which you show on your screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Because I haven't received any response yet. Sure.
Yeah.
The submit button is not working as of now.
Yeah, it's not enabled. The submit button is.
So I
Yeah,
have
submit
got,
button is not
I have
working.
got the responses of some participants, so I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
Maybe
it is
net
working.
issues. Maybe net issues. Okay. Net might be slow.
The submit button is not working. Actually, let me check.
Ma'am, I did not have the option of.
It is not
working.
questions. Then okay, okay.
Working, I submitted.
It's only when you answer all the questions, then submit button is activated.
Still
Yeah,
it's
we
not
did
working.
submit it.
On mobile, I think it's different. I couldn't see any options of answering it.
On mobile, it is a little different, always.
You just have to click the correct answer on the mobile.
Can you resend, ma'am?
I wouldn't be able to resend because I had to end the polling then. What you could do is you could maybe write your responses on the chat.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Tiesha.
Only one question I could see, and then it got skipped on pressing the button skip.
Okay.
Okay. Could we end the poll? How many?
Yes, ma'am. We've received 39 responses. I'll just wait for one more minute
Able to submit.
and then end the poll.
Yeah.
Not able to submit. Go down. Actually, 4 questions are there. Okay, okay.
Click on next, Hina. Click on next.
Okay.
Next, and then it ends.
Tina, did you manage to get that? Otherwise, I'll end this polling. Okay, I'm going to end the poll.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm going to share the results.
Oral questions posed during classroom interaction, 88%. Good. Posing questions before a reading should be done with students who are older and better readers. Correct. Increasing the use of higher order questions to, what should be the answer? I've said this also.
50% about
50%.
And what wait time should wait time differ when asking lower versus higher order questions?
Yes, ma'am.
I think it was a sitter. It was very easy.
Yeah.
We can go ahead. I'll stop the sharing of this. Tiesha, shall I do that? All right. We can close this. Now we go to how do I close this poll?
Ma'am, there'll be a cross at the top. You could just do that. Press the cross.
No, I don't see it. I'm trying to click on all sides. Got it. All right. Now, according to NEP, National Education Policy, we've been listening to it for some time now and getting stressed out over that. Critical thinking, interactive classes, and experiential learning are a must. Let's go through that. For critical thinking, reasoning, evaluating, problem solving, decision making, and analyzing. These are the components. I don't want to get into the details of it, but I've got several examples which will be of interest to you. Now look at this. You are getting the child to make a herbarium. The question that you could ask where the child has to think critically would be, can you identify it? What is the common name for that? It could be a nerium leaf, but the child could look at that and say, yes, this is nerium. This is nerium because it is so-and-so. It has got so-and-so qualities. And what is it used for? When the child says that, the child is able to think critically. Are you able to get to that? I've got several examples. Now look at this. These what are these? Oops, sorry.
Seals.
Seals found where?
Harappan civilization.
Indus Valley civilization.
Look at the first question. Look at the first question. First question is lower order. And the second question is higher order. They have been found in ancient Mesopotamia. How do you think they got there? And why? Higher order question, which cannot be copy pasted from Google. Now strike out the incorrect facts. Oops. Strike out the incorrect facts. Mohenjo-daro. The picture is given and the child has to think. Options are also given. So this is again a higher order question. Now this is discovery learning. You put a tape there on the ball. PT teacher, now when you put a tape on the ball, what will happen if you are dribbling the ball?
It will not bounce, dribble properly. It will slip out if it comes exactly on that part.
It will go at a tangent, would it not? Would it dribble as you would want it to?
No, not the way I want.
Yeah. So this leads to discovery learning. You can get them to have smaller patches. You can get them to have patches of different weight, and you can get them to measure the angle of deviation. There is no end to the experiments that you can do in class. Now, the frog is at the bottom of a 10-meter well. Each day he climbs up 3 meters. Each night he slides down 1 meter. On what day will he reach the top of the well and escape? Math teachers?
Yeah.
Give me the answer.
5 days.
5 days. Now apply a rule. This is action and reaction are equal and opposite.
Yeah.
Newton's law of motion.
Yeah.
Children have to write their own definition. Biology, simple leaf and a compound leaf. Compound leaf could be palmately compound or pinnately compound. The children have to write the definition without having to look. Higher order, lower order.
Higher order.
Higher order. Higher order.
Higher order.
Higher order.
I can look into any site. It will give me the definition. I'll copy paste it. Writing definitions may not be a higher order question.
Oh.
Okay. Child defines. Look at the pre-read matter that I've given you. Find out where the definitions lie. Demonstrating. Demonstrate the cause of various phases of the moon as viewed from the earth. Sorry. Estimate the amount of heat given off by 1 liter of air compressed to 1/2 its original volume. What law is this? Science teachers. What law? Which law? Charles' law. Classify. Construct. Construct a model of carbon atom or write a cinquane. Cinquane, I've given you an example here of a cinquane. You can make your own. Identifying. Evaluating. This is again a higher order. Distinguishing. Lower order or higher order?
Higher order, ma'am.
I think it's low order.
Not lower order, because the child has to understand what are the qualities of A versus what are the qualities of B. So it is of higher order, not creating or evaluating, but distinguishing is definitely a matter of understanding. Now, let's spend 2 minutes here. There is a snowman and there is a coat. So one girl, this girl here says, don't put the coat, it will melt him. This fellow in purple jacket says, I don't think the coat will make any difference. And the fellow in the blue jacket says, I think it will keep him cold and stop him from melting. Who is right?
The girl.
The girl.
The girl? Physics teachers, anybody there?
It's the one who says it will keep him cold and stop him from melting.
The one with the purple.
Answer. The right answer is this one.
Red one.
This is the right answer.
Yes, the blue one, the one who's wearing the blue.
It will act as an insulator. It does not make him melt. It does not keep him warm. It acts as an insulator. So the concept has to be correct. See, as it is now, you also said, this girl is right. And I gave away the answer a little early because we are running short of time. And I want to also have some question answers and things like that. Now, a woman goes for a haircut and the hairdresser asks her what brand of shampoo she uses. He then puts some hair under the microscope and shows her that there is a white film on the hair. He recommends that she buy the store's brand of shampoo rather than the one she has been using. What are some of the good questions that she should ask? You can write in the chat, but I would prefer your telling me that.
Ma'am, what is the, may I, ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, she may ask, what is the reason for this white film on my hair?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next.
Are you marketing your own brand?
Okay. Why is it a good question?
What is the guarantee that your product will not leave a white film on my hair?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a
What is that product which is not there in my shampoo and not there in this that will prevent this?
Good question.
White film.
And what are the contents in your shampoo?
Here, what is it that is there? What is it that is not there? Which technique are you using?
What are the contents in the shampoo?
Contents. You're distinguishing between one shampoo and the other. Next. Anything else she can ask?
Will it cause any allergic reaction?
Okay.
Are they going to give a
How long it
trial,
may
a
take to
demonstration
just
on
give
her
an
hair?
impact?
Sorry?
Are they going to give a demonstration just to see that this is not going to leave a film on the hair? This is more effective than the other.
So you want to verify. You want to verify that.
Yeah, that it works.
It's about the product.
Substance.
Yes.
And she will confirm that whether it is okay or he's just fooling that, yes, white film is not good.
All right. Okay.
Or it may be the time span it would take to just get over with the old results and the new one to get the impact. What is expected?
Okay, we'll accept that.
More about your product.
All right. So now you're getting the hang of asking the right kind of questions. Let's see what else. Now, applying Bloom's taxonomy, I've taken Goldilocks and Three Bears as an example. Remembering, list the terms, items used by Goldilocks while she was in the bear's house. Understanding would be, explain why Goldilocks liked Baby Bear's chair the best. Applying, demonstrate what Goldilocks would use if she came to your house. Analyzing, compare this story to reality. What events could not really happen? Is it possible that a girl can go to a bear's house and come back alive? A bear's den? So compare it to reality, and what events could not really happen is what you need to say. Evaluating, judge whether Goldilocks was good or bad. Defend your opinion. Can you tell me, was she good or was she bad? Teachers.
It was just
We can have
tired.
different perspectives. We can have different perspectives.
Let me hear the perspective.
Yeah, so according to me, she was good. She was nice.
All right. Somebody?
According to me, I think she was really bad going into someone's house without their permission, eating their food, using their things without their permission. It's not
Yes.
good.
This is where you teach values to the children. You cannot get into somebody's house without their permission and use their things without their permission. So that's not good. Now look at the creation part. Propose how the story would be different if it were Goldilocks and the three fish. So the creation part is the ultimate. It's the top of the higher order. So there, they have to write another story of Goldilocks and the three fish. Are you able to understand this? How the Bloom's taxonomy can be applied?
Yes, ma'am.
Some of the pitfalls of questioning: asking too many questions, asking difficult questions without building up to them, asking superficial questions. So what I mean by difficult questions without building up to them, without explaining the concepts. If you ask a difficult question, the child will not be able to answer. Asking a question and then answering it yourself. Asking vague question like, guess what's in my head? Focusing a small number of pupils. Focusing on a small number of pupils. It invariably happens. Even today, some teachers are answering. Most of them are not answering. Dealing ineffectively with wrong answers and misconceptions. Not treating pupils' answers seriously. All of you know this. So let's go ahead. I'll skip this. Now, techniques that can be used. Think, pair, and share. All of you are aware of this? Are you aware of this technique? Think, pair, and share?
No.
Okay. So what you do is you have two students sitting one next to one another. This can happen in an offline class. And you give them this task. They exchange notes. They discuss with one another. And then they share. When they explain it to one another, then it becomes easy for them to understand. Peer learning, peer sharing is considered to be one of the best ways to learn, and that is why think, pair, and share is at the top of this technique. Teachers can select students at random. Now, what I normally do is when I take some life skill classes or something, offline mode, you have one of those smiley balls or something, throw that at the student. And the one who gets that has to answer. So they can't keep ducking. And all those who keep saying miss, 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 and keep jumping up with their hands in the air, they will also decide that it's time to put the hands down. Selecting particular students. The teacher can decide, today I'm going to only refer to odd numbers from 1 to 25. Today it is the turn of even numbers from 30 to 40. The teachers can decide that. Asking in sequence from 1 You can ask row wise. Selecting the raised hand students. It is not a good idea to select the raised hand students, because then what will happen is, अरे why should I answer this? वो भरत है ना, हाथ ऊपर करके हमेशा आंसर करता है, जाने दो ना. So those who don't want to answer will not answer. So selecting raised hand students is not a very good idea according to me. Selecting after modeling the answers. Teacher gets the answer, teacher answers them, and after that you can select the children. Depends upon what you are trying to do. If it's revision, then maybe this works. Ask the questions for homework. Some students to read them aloud and then ask the students to prepare the answers for these questions at home. Any doubts on this?
So ma'am, I feel, this is Deepa Agarwal, I
Yeah.
feel that asking the questions from the raised hands is also very important, because otherwise I have seen if you don't ask them, the ones who know it, they also get demotivated. Oh, miss never asked us because we raise hands. So it should be equally distributed.
You can establish ground rules.
Yes.
Saying, I don't want to ask questions to the children who are raising hands. So I'm going to throw this ball. You catch the ball and you answer. And you see the fun. They duck. They don't want the ball to come into their hands. They duck.
Yes.
The teacher has to be alert and say, you ducked. So the question comes to you.
Yes.
So you just have to establish some ground rules before you start the class. That's all. Now, it's not driven only by questioning, but also by introducing a problem. I have a little problem here. Sherlock Holmes reviewed the information, and there was a lady who was shot dead. They had shortlisted 4 suspects: Tom, Harry, Hirsch, Aaron, and Robinson. There were 5 notes that were found, and it was from the killer. The first was in the harbor, second was in the art studio, third was in the restroom, fourth in the supply room, and fifth in a house. All the notes said the clues are where you find the notes. Yet nothing was found any place the notes were. Now, Sherlock Holmes had one good look at everything and he immediately solved the case. Now, who did it? Now, you can ask me questions to collect the data. But you cannot ask me, did Tom do it? Did Harry do it? Did Harsh do it? You cannot ask me questions like that. That question is not permitted.
Ma'am, Harsh did it.
Sorry?
Harsh did it.
Now, did I finish? Did I say you just became a, what shall I say, killjoy? You just gave away the answer. And everybody else lost the chance to listen in. Why do you say Harsh did it?
Because the places that the notes were found, the first letters spell out Harsh.
Okay. Have you come across this before?
No, ma'am.
You saw it for the first time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then you're brilliant.
Sorry?
First letter, I said you're brilliant.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. And I'm sorry that I jumped the gun there.
Because everybody else, this is what happens when you give the chance to one person to answer when they put up the hand, because the others will stop thinking and nobody gets a chance to answer. So the first letter of each of the place to find the name of the name of the murderer, and then it is Harsh. You want to do one more puzzle?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We can stop here. Tiesha, should we stop here so that they can do the feedback? Tiesha,
You can carry on, ma'am.
carry on.
Sorry, ma'am.
All right, one puzzle. Now, nobody is going to give out the answer. Follow the rules, okay? Now, the man in the restaurant asked for a glass, a dinner plate, a water, a match, and a lemon wedge. And the man poured enough water into the plate to cover it. And then he called the waiter and he said, get the water on the plate into the glass without touching or moving the plate. I'll give you $100. And man also said, you can use the match and the lemon to do this. And few minutes later, the waiter walked away with $100 in his pocket. How did he do that?
Ma'am, could you please show the question once again, the previous slide?
Now you will have to ask me question and I will say yes or no. You collect the data that you require by asking questions. I will be saying only yes or no. If you know the answer, don't jump the gun. Let the others enjoy and learn from this. Is that clear?
Ma'am, had the juice been squeezed out from the lemon?
No. No.
Was the plate above the glass?
No. In another minute, I'll give you the answer myself because we are running late. Come on. Elementary physics.
Shall I answer the question?
Yes, please.
He has to light a match and put it in the glass so that it uses up the oxygen, creates a partial vacuum, and when he upturns the glass on the plate, it will suck up the water from the plate. I don't know why the lemon is there to be.
Lemon is there. So lemon wedge is kept and the match is kept in that. Otherwise, how will the match stand straight?
Right, ma'am.
Yeah. So you keep the lemon wedge and stick the match in it so it stands straight. Like this. And invert the glass, and when oxygen is used for burning, a low pressure area is created and the water gets into the glass. It's as simple as that. Remember your school elementary science. Okay, so now I come to my book. This book is available on Amazon and Flipkart. But at the moment, because of the lockdown of Chennai, the book is not available in either of these places. However, if you want the book, you can write to me on my email address and I will have the book sent to you. Right now on Amazon, it costs 510 plus courier charges. So I'll give it to you at 10% discount with courier charges. So you can write to me at pramilakudwa2016@gmail.com if you are interested in procuring the book. The book has got about 200 pages of techniques, 50 pages of lesson plans, and it has also got about 40 pages of Bloom's taxonomy explained in detail. And it has also got about 30 odd pages of inclusive education. It has also got several things on distance education. So it is a book which I think all of you will be in a position to make use of. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for a wonderful session. Very informative, very educative. And it was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Dear participants, I would please request you to kindly fill the feedback.
Yeah, feedback is very necessary. Please take 2 minutes and fill it.
Thank you, ma'am.
In case anybody has any question for Ms.
Thank you, ma'am.
Go ahead and ask, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any questions? I'm willing to answer. No questions can mean two things. Either the session was so good that there are no questions, or two, well, I think I'll not say it.
Then is there a feedback form because I cannot see any?
She's put it in the chat box, I'm sure.
But it is, you have to go to Google to fill it up. You can't fill it up online immediately and send it. We'll have to close the meeting and then fill it up.
Okay.
No.
It's
So
a
ideally,
link.
another window should open up automatically.
Yeah, but there is a link here which takes you to Google.
Correct. It's a Google form.
Yeah, but so we have to leave this meeting and go to the Google
No, it's
to fill
okay.
this
You
up.
can fill the form right now. I've already filled the form and submitted.
All right.
It doesn't, you don't have to leave the meeting. It will
Yes,
open.
I also finished submitting it. Just click on the link, another window will open and you will be able to submit
fill
it.
it. The reason I want you to fill it now itself is because out of sight, out of mind. You will leave the meeting and then you won't give me a feedback. It's not that you don't want to, but that's the normal tendency of a human being.
Can we leave, ma'am?
Yes.
Can we leave, ma'am?
Have you filled the form, sweetheart?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the session.
It's my pleasure. I hope you're taking back something.
Yes, ma'am. We have taken some notes.
Just one last question. What is it that you will implement when you go back to school? Higher order question. What is it that you will implement?
I would like to, both type of question, lower order as well as higher order question.
Okay.
What I would like to implement is I would give the students a platform where they will be able to ask questions during the sessions that we conduct as teachers, which makes them more curious to learn more. So if they ask better questions, it will be important for us to then prepare better to answer those questions of theirs.
Okay.
Ma'am, I would like to add here.
Yes,
I feel what I would like to do is definitely equip myself first for that thinking skill. I mean, like, though we are doing, what I realized after this program is there is a lot of things that we should equip to reach that level of questioning. So that's what I feel I should take that first step.
That's right. The question that the NASA director, project director asked.
Ma'am, I would like to think before I ask any questions to my class. I will think in my mind what type of questions I'm going to ask. That is the lesson which I'm taking from today's session. Ma'am. Thank you very much. I filled up the form. Ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Just wanted to say that I mean, we should be more mindful of the kinds of questions we are posing and not waste the child's time in doing, we have to be very mindful of whatever questions we are bringing on the table for the class.
True. At least you've all started thinking on the right lines, which makes me feel good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Tiesha, if they have submitted, they can leave, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, participants.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms.
ma'am.
Kodwa. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you so much, Kamala.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Certificates, will they get certificates? Tiesha, they want to know?
Yes, they would by this end of this week or mid next week.
Okay.
By Wednesday.
Ma'am, I have another general question about the book. Does it also cover the aspects of the questioning? Sorry if I had missed that point. Does it also cover the aspects of the questioning, ma'am, the chalk to talk? Yes, this book. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
It does. And it has got some 30 odd lesson plans, which also has several questions and several
Okay,
techniques. There are many, many examples.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
It's a reflection of my 40 years of teaching.
We'd be definitely interested in mine. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for this informative session.
May I take your leave then?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
ma'am.
much.
I'm going
Thank
to
you,
end
ma'am.
session
Thank you
next
so
1
much.
minute.
Such an informative session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Tiesha, I will be getting the video and the chat clipping also, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay, then I'll take your leave.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Given form is submitted.